Welcome back to Squelch, the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage, and we're here to remind everyone that Final Fantasy VI is a game, and that games are supposed to be fun. Quick fun fact before we get into things today: when this game was released, how old do you think I was?
Oh, 2. I'm saying 2. I'm putting my money on 2.
Were you born? When was this game released? 96?
1990. No, 1990.
90?
Final Fantasy
94. 94 is what the first Google search says.
94 sounds more right to me. 94 sounds more right.
Way to go, AI. Final Fantasy 3. No, wrong Final Fantasy 3. Come on.
Wikipedia. Just go to Wikipedia. This is a terrible... We are so good at podcasting.
Right? Oh, 94. Okay, so yeah. Okay.
That makes a lot more sense. 94 makes a lot more sense. I don't remember.
October,
So you're 30, so 30 minus... You're 30, right?
It wasn't supposed to be actually trying to get it correct, Dano. It wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't supposed to be a math thing. It was supposed to be you say a number and then I tell you the answer and then we go. This bit has gone on for approximately 4 times as long as I expected.
The problem with the bit is that you're a very good friend of mine, so I should know how old you are and therefore know when you were born. And this is one of my all-time favorite video games that I played upon release, so I should also know when it was made. Therefore, both was very much a test of my love of this game and my love for you, which I failed both, by the way. So this great bit, love this.
I'm gonna revise.
I was 1 year old. I
was going to say 6 years old. I thought you were old. Okay. 1 year old. No.
Yep.
Well,
I was 13.
Good. I feel good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I loved this game. I played this game so much when I was a kid. Anywho, this week we are playing Up Until the Party Split. Sorry. Apparently my love for this game made me play this game at a speed that is not actually possible for normal human beings. And both Matt and Dan were like, hey, Dan, how about we don't play that much of the game this week?
Yeah, because I got through to the split and I went, I could play more, but I think that right now the podcast is going to be an hour and a half just talking about the plot. If we keep going, this will be a 2-3 hour long podcast to start. And I don't know if that's the energy we want to start with. That is for sure where we will end, because that is how we always somehow end, no matter how much we plan for that last episode. But I think if we could pretend that we're at least an hour-long podcast every now and then.
It's hard. So we are playing Up Until the Party Split this week. Next week, play until Locke gets out of bed, just like I always said. I'm sure you all thought I said something different last week. I definitely did not. So this week, we play until the Party Split. Next week, play until Locke gets out of bed. It'll make sense when Locke gets out of bed. Just a quick FYI, I read through Daniel's show notes, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring this up at the intro. I did bring it up in our Squelch host chat. I don't think I brought it up in Discord. I'll put it there as well. This is a JRPG from the 90s, which means do not be shy about using a guide. In fact, it was kind of designed to play with a guide. There are things that you just won't discover without having a guide. It's just there's no reason to know that there is that guy in that forest there. One townsperson says a thing, but there's a lot of inferring to get everything found. Honestly, play with the guide. It really won't ruin much. There are some good guides out there, including ones that have spoiler-free stuff. So,
the time that I realized, and we'll get into this more later, when I realized I needed a guide, is there was a point in the game where they were like, all right, goodbye, and you were left in the middle of a town, and there was no instruction on where to go or what to do, and I just sat there, and I was like, I don't no, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then I read a guide and it was like, go here and then go back. And I was like, why? There's no, okay, all right, it's fine. I'll do the thing. And I did the thing and it was fine.
I got the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 pixel remasters for my middle school nephew. And I was like, dude, you got to play Final Fantasy 6 first. It's the best Final Fantasy. He goes, okay. And then he started playing it. And I was like, how's it going? He goes, I'm stuck in the castle. I'm like, what do you mean you're stuck in the castle? You're going to like do a thing. And then there's going to be like a fight. And then you're going to jump on some chocobos. He goes, nothing's happening. Realize this week you have to go back.
That is exactly where I got stuck, for the record.
You have to go back into the throne room, talk to the king, and then things kick off. If you don't do that, nothing happens.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, oops. So don't worry about using a guide. It's fine, and there is no shame with using a guide for old JRPGs.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
Hey, thank you very much, patrons and Twitch subs. Your support keeps this podcast ticking. If you want to support the show, head over to twitch.tv/DanOPlay. The O is a 0 because of cool. Or patreon.com/squelch, $5 and above, and you get the podcast tonight. It is recorded. Through our Patreon feed, and all our Patreon Twitch subs get access to our bonus podcast, Squelch Before Dork, which you are going to get this week. I know, it's been an insane amount of winter. I blame the world. If I'm being honest, kind of blaming the world for all of that. But yeah, so we had some fun banters this week. A story about the pizza, not the pizza, and then and yeah, so
Root beer discussion.
Yep, yeah, good times. No lore this week because there's no characters yet, so let's hop right into the recap. All right, so the game opens with gorgeous pixel art. Just the most beautiful intro, I think, ever. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. And then we get the intro text. The ancient war of the Magi. When its flames at last receded, only the charred husk of a world remained. Even the power of magic was lost. In the 1,000 years that followed, iron, gunpowder, and steam engines took the place of magic, and life slowly returned to the barren land. Yet there now stands one who would reawaken the magic of ages past and use its dread power as a means by which to conquer all the world. Could anyone truly be foolish enough to repeat that mistake? Spoilers.
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, no video game. Like,
Yeah.
No real storytelling. It's just a story of like Tara, like getting old, having
Just
kids
hanging out.
and grandkids, and then like,
Mhm.
it's like that was a good life. I was like, oh, that
Well done. Just a little Stardew Valley before Stardew Valley came in.
that was cozy. All right,
Yeah.
well, so glad
Just
no one
wandered
went
around,
crazy. That would have
visited
been
some
awful.
places.
Edgar hit on some people. It's fine.
Yeah, as an adult, that character is much less funny than he was as a teenager.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some big mid-90s energy there with our good friend Edgar.
Yeah, I do enjoy this game. It reeks of the 90s.
You have to accept it for what it is, not what you want to be. And he does mean well, Edgar, who we have not met yet.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy. He's just kind of a bad guy.
He's a bit of a bad guy by today's standards, but by the 90s he was fine.
It's not problematic for a king to go around hitting on everybody. There's no power
No.
dynamic there. No big deal. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Stop thinking about it. How cool is that auto crossbow, huh?
Great point. Pretty cool.
I'm a big fan of the noise blaster first.
Wait till you get Flash. That is a winner.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the recap. The game
Really clean so far on our recap. Haven't been distracted at all.
There weren't any terrible misspellings in that opening text I had there that I had to read around. I don't know what was going on there. That's why you read the draft. Anyway, so the game opens with 3 figures in giant suits of mech armor overlooking the steampunk mining town of Narsh from a cliff. 2 of them in Empire soldier armor, Biggs and Wedge, ask each other if the rumors can be true that after 1,000 years, an Esper was truly found frozen in the mines of Narsh. Mines of Narsh. They turn to their third companion, a young lady with green hair, the companion they refer to as their witch. Biggs turns to Wedge and says that he heard she fried 50 of their Magitech armored soldiers in 3 minutes. Wedge scoffs at Biggs. Don't worry, he says. With that slave crown on, she won't breathe unless we tell her to. With that, they begin a long, gorgeous march through the snow to the town of Narsh. The guards greet them at the gate, demanding them to leave, that Narsh is neutral, and that the Empire has no right to break that neutrality. Wedge, Biggs, and their witch don't care and fight their way through the town using their Magitech, killing town guards, guard dogs, and guard woolly mammoths. They travel. That's not a joke. There truly are guard woolly mammoths.
Yep.
They travel through the town to the mines, eventually reaching the entrance to the new mine where they believe the Esper is waiting. But before they can enter, a guard screams out, "Ymir, get them!" And our party is attacked by a giant snail. Biggs exclaims in surprise that he knows what this is. This is a lightning whelk, and the guards must have trained it to defend the mines. He tells us
Can we quick pause here?
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yes.
This is an insane start to the game that they just glide past. The concept of we've got a giant snail. Sure.
Mhm.
We've trained it to defend the mines.
Mhm.
What? Additionally, this snail is only good at one thing. Reflecting magic back at people. Which is, to our knowledge, an impossibility before this moment. So they got a snail that had one thing that couldn't possibly be done, and they trained it to guard one place that had no real strategic value other than this one thing, and it works out perfectly, and the game never bothers to explain furthermore.
I don't believe it's just magic. I think it's any attack on the shell will cause it to spit lightning at you. So it stores up energy that it receives. So it could be like regular you attacking with a sword if we had one. And then if you attack that, then energy is released. So yes, it turns out that it is magic, but it might not be magic. But yes, I agree. It is a pretty insane premise. And it's like, and this is like the only time in the game too that we get like a report on what to do. Biggs is like, "Hey, I know what to do here. I read this report before we left town." And it's like, oh.
Yeah, so this snail is so famous that there were reports on it beforehand.
Never again in the rest of this game do we get this. This is the only spoiler alert. Never again is someone to go,
Good.
"Don't attack the shell." So, like we said, he tells us not to attack the shell because it stores up lightning in its snail shell. Easier said than done because this lightning whelk will randomly hide in its shell. Good news for us, we have Magitech armor and make short work of the beast. I assume you both made short work of it as well?
Yes.
Yeah. You just have to kind of like wait. Like it's kind of a very fun battle because you attack its head and then eventually goes screw and then like goes into its shell and then you just sit there and wait.
Yeah,
So
or
heal
yourself.
You're waiting for a minute and like you can heal yourself if you want. And then it will stick its head back out and you're like, thank you. Otherwise we would have been at an impasse.
Yeah, if you just stayed in there, I would have lost eventually.
I couldn't have done anything if you just stayed in the good thing you're a dumb giant snail.
Wasn't trained that well, apparently.
All right, so we travel into the mine, and holy crap, there is actually an Esper frozen in a giant block of ice here. It reacts to our witch, and then evaporates Biggs and Wedge. Goodbye, Biggs and Wedge. You weren't good people, and probably had this coming. Our witch wakes up in a bed in the town of Narsh. A man walks in and explains that the slave crown was robbing her of her thoughts. She won't be able to remember anything for a while, but things will come back over time. The game fades to black and introduces us to Terra, a mysterious young woman born with the gift of magic and enslaved by the Gestalian Empire. Outside, guard dogs are barking at the door. The guards have discovered her. The old man tells her that she needs to run out the back, that the guards aren't going to listen to reason. He tells us to run out the back and into the mines. From here, we gain control of Terra and do the only thing we can do when guards are pounding at the door. We walk over to the clock and take the elixir from inside. Everyone knows that all clocks contain an elixir for intrepid adventurers to take and then use at their leisure. Terra runs through the mines, fighting off were-rats, wrench-wielding bandits, and blue cloud things. Eventually, the guards corner her, and as she backs away, the floor of the cave gives way, and she falls into a room below, knocking herself out cold. Flashback time! We see Terra in some room, and an evil clown named Kefka words.
Yeah, go take that one more time. Take it clean, Dano.
Flashback time! We see Terra in some room and an evil clown named Kefka cackling and claiming that with the slave crown, she will do whatever he says. Then the two of them hop into some magic armor and slaughter a bunch of their own soldiers, because Kefka sucks. With magic under his control, Emperor Gestahl holds an evil army party with his 3 generals, Leo, Celise, and Kefka, doing evil speeches in front of their giant evil army. Terra in the background, fully under their control. Did I mention that they are evil? Just checking. Evil. Oh, and I totally thought Emperor Gestahl was a dog man. When I was a teenager, he looked like a dog man. But he just has long white hair and a mustache. And in my defense, he looks just like a Wheaten Terrier. Tell me you can't unsee it now. He looks like a Wheaten Terrier. He's a dog man. Back in the modern day, a man walks through the back door of the house Terra just ran from, and we are introduced to Locke, a treasure hunter and trail-worn traveler searching the world over for relics of the past. At this point, we are introduced to a joke that will be used over and over in this game. Calling Locke a thief, and him correcting whoever said that and saying that he is in fact a treasure hunter. The old man who rescued Terra asks Locke to help Terra to escape the city guard and to find her way to Figaro Castle. Locke, yes, Daniel.
Now, Locke does claim that he is not a thief, but I'm only about 3 hours into this game, and I have stolen so many things from various houses, huts, and villages across this country that it does seem like thief is unfortunately an accurate term.
Yes. No, he is 100% a thief. And can I give you a minor spoiler about gear in this game?
Sure.
Not only does he currently have the ability of thief, right? Steal. Thank you, steal. There is a place that you will get to full of thieves where you can find a relic that will turn that into mug. So it stops being steal and becomes mug, where you attack them and steal something from them. There is also
what a game.
There's a second relic you can get in this game called a Genji glove. The Genji glove lets you equip a weapon in your left hand and your right hand. And if you put the Genji glove on Locke with the bandits thing, whatever it's called, he will mug them twice. So you get 2 bites at the thieving apple and you get 2 hits on him. It's amazing. I love Locke. I currently have 50 tents, 99 high potions, and 99 potions. I haven't bought a single one.
That's insane. That's simply insane.
100% actually a thief, no doubt about it. So, Locke makes his way through the caves just as the city guard arrives. How is he going to fight his way through the entire city guard? Easy, by getting help from 11 Moogles. In case you don't know what Final Fantasy games are, Moogles are like little white, fluffy Moogles.
Mouse. They're like mouse things that are like fat and large and like,
and they have like a little flower on their head instead of hair. They're Moogles.
Or like a ball. Like a ball antenna thing.
Yeah. So
They're
what's fun about
similar in like function and attitude as like fairies. They just kind of like show up, they do their thing, they're little Moogle boys, and then they disappear or do whatever they want.
Yep. So, easy, by getting help from 11 Moogles. And so, Mog, Molulu, Mogan, Mogul, Mogsy, Mogwin, Mugmug, Cosmog, Moglin, Mogret, Moggy, and Locke break up into 3 parties of 4 and defend the cave from the city guard. After defeating the captain of the guard, Terra wakes up. Locke thanks the Moogles, and off they go through a secret passage in the mines. Locke mentions to Terra that this might be useful to remember. Wink, wink. Locke tells Terra that he will stay with her until her memory returns, and off they go to Figaro Castle in the desert kingdom of Figaro. Fun fact, those are their actual names. I Googled it.
One, incredible. They actually named them all. 2, great names. 3, genuinely just buck wild opening. You go from a snail boss to a evil clown in charge of everything, which is a odd running theme throughout several Final Fantasy games. They do love making clowns evil. And you make your way thanks to 11 Moogles appearing out of nowhere. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it does introduce something that it's a surprise clue that'll help us later, but like it's.
There are actually 2 clues here. Can I give you both clues? Yeah. You may have noticed that one of the Moogles has an ability the other Moogles do not.
I did not notice that.
Oh. The Mog has the dance ability.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay. Good for him. I always hoped that he'd take up dance.
He does dance. And with some of his dances, he can fall and fail. That's great. Anything we want to talk about this section? This insane start to a video game?
It's the fact that it's insane and amazing at the same time. Yes. Like, I mean, yeah, like you covered everything. Kind of goes through, it is basically the tutorial on combat and everything else. It's great.
It is a interesting start because you start off in these mech suits, and for the first little while, I was kind of confused because the mech suits allow you to use Magitech, which is, at this point in the game, more powerful than magic, which was kind of a weird vibe, because people are like, magic doesn't exist, and the first time you do magic, people freak out, and they go, this person's doing magic! Kill them! And then you're like, oh yeah, but my other abilities are actually all way better. And the second we got out of them, I was like, okay, back to a more normal Final Fantasy balance here.
Yeah, so like the Magitech suits are supposed to be crazy powerful, which is why the Empire, the Gestalian Empire, is so powerful, was this harnessing of Magitech that only they have access to. So, which then makes them more powerful, like I said. So, but yeah, it's a fun start to the game. I do enjoy this game, the intro quite a bit. I love the breaking up into 3 parties is so much fun. I love getting to like navigate that whole section is fantastic, and I love it so much. Matt, you want to kick us off to the next area?
Yeah, absolutely. So we travel south through a nice green area and make our way to the desert to find Figaro Castle in the middle of it. As we enter, the guards recognize Locke and let him in. There's some sort of technology thing happening here. There's like fans in the turrets. It's very interesting. You know, there's a guard that almost lets the big secret slip before we make our way in. We make our way to the throne room and we meet Edgar, King of Figaro. He immediately hits on Terra. Locke boasts about knowing
immediately. First slide.
And like the fun, can I use the word? I'm gonna use the word fun here. We're using the word fun loosely, using it a little bit in a joking manner. Edgar does hit on every woman in this game, and he very much sees that as, if I don't hit on them, then I am doing them a disservice. They won't know that I find them attractive if I don't hit on them. And or you could just treat them like people, Edgar, which he does do as well. He does treat them as people as well. So like, he's a man of many, many faces. He has the kind that's normal, and then the weird kind that's misogynistic.
And looking back at it now, it's obviously not great. But for the 90s, it really wasn't that bad.
No,
like it
no.
doesn't go over the top. It's ridiculous now. But like it could have been way worse.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was played off as complete humor. Like, because like at one point in this section, he gets made fun of for having made fun of for hitting on the high priestess and her kicking him out of the church. And then like, one of the children is like, I'm gonna marry King
Yeah. I'm gonna
King
marry
Edgar
King
someday.
Edgar when I'm old enough. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So it very much is played for humor and not to be like a serious thing. And he never, well, I guess not never actually, because there is something come up later. But like it is played for humor. It is very played for 90s humor though. So no forgiving it, but like I don't know. It is what it is as well. So
Yeah.
it's not great.
Yep. So then Locke boasts about knowing both, and about, hey, I told you I know a king, right? And they both immediately leave. Edgar reassures Tara that the Empire and Figure are allies, and let's go explore the castle. And then Tara asks why he's being so kind. Is it because of her abilities? Edgar takes another pass at Tara before admitting that her abilities are a distant third. It's like, yeah, I'm wondering to know if you're my type. You're beautiful, and oh yeah, your abilities. Yeah, it's distant third.
Could be you're a person who needs help. Like, honestly, the answer should have been you're a person who needs help. And I don't care that you're a woman. I don't care I don't care if I'm your type. And I don't care about your abilities. You're a person who needs help, and I'm going to help you. That was the correct answer. That was the correct answer, king of a literal nation.
Right. So then Tara goes, explores the castle, finds all things you would find in a dungeon, like find in a castle, like a dungeon, servant quarters, a library, king's bedroom, which drops some backstory between him and Sabin, who's his brother, by the way. We learned about Sabin here. And of course, an engine room in a castle. There's an engine room. Like, there's maintenance happening. We can't actually go see the engine room, but there's an engine room. In the king's bedroom, we get some backstory about Edgar and his twin brother Sabin. We get a cutscene where Edgar and Sabin are discussing the death of their father and succession plans. Edgar gets upset and leaves the room. This is where we get Sabin's name. We return to the throne room. A guard comes in saying that someone from the Empire is here to see you. And the notes of Kefka's theme drops. And it's one of the greatest themes ever. We cut to the desert where Kefka is complaining about the Emperor's order to trudge out to the desert to pay a visit to Figaro, and there's sand in his boots, and makes his guards dump out his boots, and then he laughs. Does the Kefka laugh? It's great. Barges into the castle and demands to see the girl. Edgar asks if that's the witch everyone's been talking about. Kefka says she's nothing, just stole something of minor value from the Empire. He asks to see her again. Edgar rebuffs Kefka, saying, "There's more girls here than grains of sand in the desert. A man can't possibly keep track of them all." Kefka threatens Edgar and Figaro if he doesn't turn over the girl and leaves.
I do like that, at the very least. Problems, but pretty funny response for a character from that perspective to also use his own ineptitude as a shield to try to prevent further knowledge from the villain. I like that turn. I liked it.
Yeah. I'm going to steal a line from Torby. He's a flirty boy. He puts on a problematic facade, but he's a good guy in everything he actually does. So
he's Bruce Wayne. He's literally Bruce Wayne. Like, he's a billionaire playboy that plays the facade of a billionaire playboy, but has a different life behind that. That's a bit darker, which we'll learn. So, okay, where was I? Okay. Edgar walks back to Locke, who shares Edgar's concern. Edgar tells Locke to take her to her room. He'd love to stay, but he needs to make some plans. Tara follows Locke into the East Tower bedroom. Locke apologizes for dragging Tara around and not giving her a chance to rest. Tara says Edgar told her about him, and it's true, you're a thief. He yells again, "I'm a treasure hunter."
Nope.
No, he's a thief. Locke gives the lowdown on Edgar pretending to gives the lowdown about Edgar pretending to sort the Empire, but really he is a member of the Returners. Locke is the middleman between the group and Edgar, and the old man is also the old man we met back in Narsh is one of them. Tara says she's an Imperial soldier. Locke says not anymore. They were using Tara. Tara tries to consider this, but the side effects of the crown and exhaustion have gotten to her. Locke says that all that matters is that she's free and can make her own decisions now, and when the time comes, she'll know what she wants to do. After Locke leaves, Tara wonders if she's making the right decisions. It's actually a really cool scene. I love this scene. You know, it's like Locke's just like, hey, you know, we saved you from this. We saved you from the Empire. Your mind is completely blank right now. Just roll with us. We'll make sure you're okay, and you can make decisions in the further down the line. It's great.
Yeah, it's kind of a hero's journey thing with Tara a little bit, where she questions herself a lot throughout the game, and you know who she is and if she's good enough. And and this kind of starts it off right here, where we kind of get the beginning of the story that is Tara, and it's a wonderful story, and she's a wonderful character.
Mm-hmm. So in the middle of the night, there's a noise, and Edgar wakes up. The Empire and Kefka have attacked and set the castle on fire. If you go talk to the guards, there's a Beavis and Butthead reference. It's beautiful. Kefka tells Edgar again to bring out the girl. Edgar plays dumb. Kefka says to enjoy the barbecue and starts laughing. Edgar turns, tells his guards to get her ready. Kefka taunts Edgar. Edgar saying he has no choice, and he leaps off the side of the castle onto 3 chocobos. Or perhaps I do. Kefka taunts Edgar, saying how he's abandoning his people. Edgar runs around the castle, and Locke and Tara jump on 2 separate chocobos as well. Edgar gives the order, and suddenly the towers pull in, and Figaro Castle dives into the sand. 2 soldiers in Magitech armor attack. Tara uses magic, and Edgar and Locke freak out about it. They apologize to Tara, and Locke says it doesn't matter, but it could really help us out right now. Tara winks at both of them, and they both kind of swoon. It's a really cute scene. And I really appreciate the guys in the Magitech just sitting off waiting, not doing anything while they allow this entire scene to happen.
Well, yeah, no, you can't interrupt a conversation. That'd be rude.
Right?
That's rude.
Yeah.
That is rude.
I mean, yeah, they're an evil empire, but they're not rude, Matt.
Yeah.
All right. So we get back to the battle. We dispatch them both. We both dispatch both of them pretty easy. Auto crossbow is insane at this level. And we get back to we run past Kefka, who threatens the party with "son of a sandworm," which is wrong. It should be son of a submariner, which are both second to Final Fantasy's Ford. You spoony bard.
What's the name of the bard at Final Fantasy IV?
What are the words that you just said? Why those are not words. Those are not things.
You spoony bard.
Yeah, why?
It's Tella, and I forget what the name of the other character is.
Tella is the mage.
Yeah. And the bard is...
I'm Googling it right now.
Edward.
Of course it's Edward. So, does he say son of a sandworm, but it was son of a submariner in the Japanese version or something? Is that what you're saying?
In the SNES version that we played, it's son of a submariner, but the translation has since been updated to son of a sandworm. I think submariner works better because you're in the middle of a desert, and submariner is a water thing, and Kefka is insane. So. Oh
well, I think sandworm I think they both make sense. I have no problem with either of them.
I don't either. I mean, it's fine, but
I do love this point because this is when we get we're full steampunk. Steampunk is the future of science fiction. That's what everyone thought in the 90s. Steampunk is going to be everywhere. Steampunk ended up not being everywhere, but steampunk is still amazing. And this game is peak steampunk. It's so cool. You have the magic and the technology, and it's all so fantastical. Yep. I mean, because it's a castle that goes under the sand and moves around. It's amazing.
Yeah. Edgar and Locke talk to Tara. So after they run by Kefka, Edgar and Locke talk to Tara about someone they'd like her to meet. They are members of the Returners. Hey, we talked about this earlier. And they want to take her to meet their leader, Bannon. They talk about the nature of Tara's power and how the Esper reacted to her. Edgar says no human has been born with powers like these, and Tara falls back. Edgar apologizes and convinces Tara to come along because she fell in the hands of if she fell in the hands of the Empire, the world's done for. We ride the Chocobo and make our way to a cave at the kind of southeast area. We head through the cave through South Figaro. There's really nothing, like, the cave is nothing. It's just like a passageway cave. There's like some boxes and stuff, like, and like a save point, but there's real no boss through the cave, which I remembered. I was thinking about Final Fantasy IV in the first cave when I went through this section. Final Fantasy IV had the mist cave where you killed the mist.
Oh yeah. No. I was thinking
At the
there's no
beginning of
bot. Don't they run into the bike here at this point?
The bike?
Is that later?
It's later.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we ride the Chocobo or make our way through the cave. We head through down to South Figaro. We enter this town and see a man in black running off to the southeast. We enter the pub and get a dulcet mouth harp and flute, the dulcet mouth harp and flute of Shadow's theme, which is one of my favorite themes in this game. I'm going to say this a lot. We talk to him and he ignores us. We learn he's an assassin and he can kill his best friend if the price is right. We interact with the dog and Shadow tells us to leave them alone. The dog eats strangers. All right. We get to name Shadow, so obviously Shadow might come back later. We'll find out. In the bar, we learn about Duncan training his students on Mount Coles for meditation, which we learn is to the east. We head out of town and make our way to Mount Coles. But first, we head north and there's a cabin. In the cabin, there's some tea brewing on the stove, plates in the sink, and flowers. They all remind Edgar of his brother Seven. We make our way outside and there's an old man by the well for some reason now. A friendly NPC just hanging out in the house tells us that the man who used to live here went to Mount Coles as soon as he heard Master Duncan was killed. Also, Duncan's son is missing. Thanks, random NPC that is hanging out at this cabin for no reason. Appreciate that.
Thanks for the information.
So yeah, that's like the whole Figaro section, and
There's
you can do a lot. You can do a lot in Figaro, but really, there's nothing much to do other than like interact with like Shadow, and then like there's some other stuff.
And you
but,
don't
like,
even get to do anything. You just
Yeah.
see him. And I kept thinking, there's something I've got to do. So I kept running around town, hoping something would trigger. Nope. He's just there. He's just there to draw your attention and then say goodbye.
He's there. He's
Oh, yeah,
later.
and
He's a later thing.
Yeah.
You do run into. There are some things that you run into that are important later. So you run into the servant with his cider. You run into Duncan's wife, who she's just interesting and will heal you.
There's
you run into like the
subplot
rich
with-
family. So there's like things that all matter later, but nothing you need to deal with right now.
Yeah. You run into there's a subplot with the richest man in town who's writing letters to some general.
Yes.
And then like a child in the next room says, you know, sometimes we just have General Lee have generals around. It's a great little scene.
The little boy is like, I'm in Magitech armor. I'm chunk.
Yeah.
Me does think something is going on here. Well, off I go to the mountain.
Yep.
So from there, we do indeed head up the mountain, and along the way, we are continually followed by a shadowy figure. Not the same shadowy figure that we talked about earlier. It's not Shadow, it's a different shadowy figure. I definitely thought, well, this is that shadowy figure, because that one's named Shadow, and they're talking about a shadowy figure. Nope, two completely different shadowy related figures.
This is more of a hazy figure.
figure.
Shadow is just a man in black.
Sure.
He's a ninja.
It's a ninja. And in classic ninja fashion, all he wears black, always in the daytime, very easy to see. Stands out in a crowd, this Shadow does.
Yeah. But eventually, we make our way to the top of the mountain, and we are attacked by a massive kung fu fighting man named Vargas. He tells us that he is going to kill us because he knows that we know that he killed Master Duncan. Okay, so we gotta kill him, or he's gonna kill us. I didn't know this information, but thank you for telling me, and now we gotta fight. So we fight him for a bit until, wouldn't you know it, we're just not good enough to beat him. But thankfully, is that Sabine's music I hear? Sabine drops down and helps us in the fight, and you cannot win it without him, because it's that kind of fight.
Mm-hmm.
After the fight, Sabine asks Vargas why he did all of this. Vargas said he couldn't stand that Master Duncan had chosen Sabine as his successor, so he went mad. Sabine says that isn't what happened, but he can't convince Vargas of the truth of his words. Also, Sabine is Edgar's brother. Whoa! I mean, yeah, that makes sense. They look exactly the same, and they've talked about the missing brother, so yep, this one checkmarked. Vargas dies, and I assume we never hear from him ever again. Moving on! Edgar says he is through being a lapdog of the Empire, and Sabine also decides to join us. Another party member. Boy, howdy, that's going to happen all the time in this game, isn't it? There's going to be so many characters. I feel like there's going to be a lot of characters because we've already been introduced to so many characters.
I mean, we're at 4 now. That's it. We're just at 4.
Yeah, I mean, we've already been introduced to a mechanic that involves 12 characters, Storm Rage. Why do you think that mechanic exists, Storm Rage?
I'm worried. I'm just worried. Because so far, basically, every time we have met somebody that isn't Kefka, it's been like, would you like to fight me as a boss or join the party? Those are your 2 options. From there, we make our way to the Returners' hideout. King Edgar is brought inside to meet with the leader of the Returners, Bannon. Boy, howdy, a named character that has a different character model. Is he going to be in our party soon? You bet your bottom dollar he is.
Did you
Bannon
name him?
What?
No, you didn't name him. Anyway.
I'm so sorry. A named character that
Yes.
that has a different figure that is absolutely going to be in your party. Bannon has a speech where he talks about what?
I said I love this so much.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. He talks about how dangerous Terra is. He goes on to talk about how there was a box with all the dangers of the world locked inside. Pride, envy, greed, wrath, so on and so forth. It was open, and that's why the world is as bad as it is. In the box, however, there remained a single ray of hope. Terra is that hope. Bannon says it is her choice to join us, or not, though. And then everyone just kind of goes to sleep? I don't know. Then Terra wakes up and talks with everyone in the hideout while also robbing them of every single valuable within the hideout. Good job, Terra. Talking with everyone, they all try to tell us or encourage us to join the Returners. Eventually, we go outside and talk to Bannon. He asks us if you want to join. Apparently, if you tell him no 3 times, you get a super powerful artifact. And if you tell him yes the first time, you get basically nothing. So, I guess play hard to get if you want to play this game. I didn't realize this until way too late, so now I can't go back.
You can still get the artifact. It's just a Genshi glove. And that's something you can get later too. And you still got your the gauntlet, right? Which is still pretty good.
Yeah, I did. You do get a gauntlet, but all the guides were like, this is your only time to get the Genji glove. So I thought that this was a one and done situation.
I think I have 2 Genji gloves.
Okay.
I will double check, but I'm pretty sure I have a second Genji glove.
Okay. Well, eventually we tell Bannon one way or another yes, so that way we can progress the plot. And perhaps sad because you don't get one of the best items in the game just yet because you didn't want to be rude. Terra eventually talks about how she is scared, but we gather everyone to form a plan. Bannon tells Locke that he needs to infiltrate the Empire to understand how they are using Magitech. Locke says there is a connection between the Espers and Magitech. The War of the Magi. Everyone loses their minds about this mention. It apparently took place 1,000 years ago. Bannon suggests that Terra goes to have a chat with an Esper. Just then, crash! A guard yells. They've taken South Figaro and are headed this way. Wait, now Locke, you go to actually disrupt the Empire and slow them down, while Terra and the others make an escape and try to go get to Narsh. They head out via a raft in the back end of the cave because of course there's a raft at the back end of the cave. Why wouldn't there be? We've got to make sure Bannon is safe. The river is full of monsters, so we better be careful. But thankfully Bannon has a group heal. That's nice. The river is full of various times we can turn left, right, or go straight. Not a clue what any of them do, but eventually we make our way through. Eventually there's a boss. He does a bunch of damage, including being able to one-shot people if you are not a super high level. His name is Ultros. He has tentacles. Gross. We beat it. Did we? Oh boy. He's actually just under the water. Is that Sabine's music? Jump into the water to fight it, I guess. Sabine gets thrown out of the water, but fails to land on the raft, and therefore gets taken down the river in an entirely different direction because he very slightly missed the raft? Okay.
It was
And so
a
at the end of it, we
fast-flowing
end up-
river.
Sure, but couldn't we just follow him?
No, because, I mean,
it's
then
it's a
the
raft.
story,
You know, like-
though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to... Sure. At the end, there are 3 different routes that we will need to complete. There's Edgar, Tara, and Bannon rushing towards Narsh to connect with the Esper there. There's Sabine just floating away. And then there's Locke trying to get behind enemy lines. That's it.
Yeah. What I want to ask you, Storm Rage, what did you think about this whole part of the game? Since you're new to it, fresh eyes.
It's fine. I fear that a lot of this game, like, the overall feeling with this plot is like, it's fun, it's campy, it's silly.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
It relies pretty heavily on nostalgia to make it great, I think. I think that there's a lot of it that is good and was great for the time. If I'm honest, if I had gotten 15 minutes in and I was not playing this for Squelch, I would have stopped.
Yeah, it's not like it is great because of what it did in video game history. Like, we played great games that, like, if you released this game in 2006, it would not be game of the year. This game was incredible because of when it came out. And
Yeah.
I feel like it still holds up really well. Shockingly well. But yeah, I do love the party split here. I think is so much fun. I did Google it. Storm Rage, there is a chance to get a second Genji glove. If you're using a guide, you'll definitely find it. Don't worry. And,
Great.
Yep. And is it really Sabine?
I have no idea, because there's no audio for names, so that...
I've been calling it Sabin for 30 years. So
Yeah.
So I'm sure because there's no, I don't know. You just read it. There's no one pronouncing it. I have been pronouncing, I'm pretty sure it's Celis and not Celes, but I've also been pronouncing her name Celes and not Celis. So I'm trying to fix that in my head that it's Celis, I believe. Celis. We haven't met her yet. We've met her briefly, but we'll meet her more later. Yeah, Matt.
Google is telling me Sabin.
Sabin? We're going with Sabin. All right. so good. That's good podcast, Storm Rage. I like the nodding and then the gesturing with hand and then that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that the first thing on GameFAQs is Sabin, and then there's another Sabine right below it. So it seems like this conversation has been back and forth for a bit.
Yeah, 30 years, sure.
The fun part about this is we can say whatever we want because no one's pronouncing it. We don't know. Cool. All right. Should we go head over to Tea with Finley where I talk a whole lot about this game? I think we should.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp. I'd also like to remember people that this is where we stopped because Matt and I both were like, we have to stop the podcast at some point. And we are an hour in already.
That also includes the pre-dork too, doesn't it?
That's true. That's true.
I did want to go through all 3 of these sections as well. And to be fair, 2 of these 3 sections are pretty short. So
yeah, it's Sabin's. It's long.
Yeah,
if I remember
yeah.
correctly.
And Sabin's is a lot of fun though too. So they're all super fun. I love this game. This game is fantastic. I love the story. I love the characters. It's super fun. All right. So Final Fantasy VI is a JRPG from the 90s, which almost always means one thing: random encounters. As you move through dungeons and on the world map, you will encounter random monsters that you have to fight. You can also run away if you choose to, but not all encounters can be ran away from, but most of them can. You can have up to 4 members of your team in battle at a time. You don't have to do 4 members. So remember, if you're trying to catch somebody up by grinding, they will get more experience if they are alone in the party. If a party member is not in your group, they do not gain experience. So your party members will not be balanced. Some of them are really good and some of them are really not good. You will want to use all of them because you will have to use all of them from time to time.
Thank you. This is a note for me.
I thought you'd appreciate that. Now, that being said, do not spend too much time grinding right now. For the most part, there's, especially now, we'll go over this again, there are catch-up mechanics built into the game now, and quality of life stuff. And then also, like, there's going to be grinding will be a lot easier later than it is right now, and it's not super necessary right now. So, anyways, just want to make sure we're clear about that. So don't worry if, like, one of your characters is 15, another one is 20. Like, just use that character, get them a couple levels up as you story through, and if they're 17, that's fine. So, in battle, each of your party members will have an ATB gauge. That gauge fills up based on their speed stat. You can modify this speed stat with items, gear, and magic. Final Fantasy VI has 2 settings, weight and active. You'll want to use weight. Weight mode means that time stops while you are selecting items or spells. So while you are menuing, time stops. You can also set your battle speed from very slow to very fast. This is simply just how quickly your ATB gauge fills up for both good guys and bad guys. Essentially, it's very fast just means that the game is moving faster. Like, it doesn't, so instead of having the slow buildup of the ATB gauge, it just fills up quicker. And then you get to move quicker. So instead of waiting, you're always kind of doing something. I set the very fast. If you have very fast on and active mode, things can get very hectic. But in wait mode, it simply just eliminates time you have to wait for your party to act. I also believe it makes poison better. Because if you are going to very fast, the poison ticks more often. So if you're using like a spell like Bio, it actually be more powerful if you are in very fast. I believe that's correct. There are a number of quality of life changes to the pixel remaster version of Final Fantasy VI. First, you can now set the game to run mode. You might think that isn't all that big of a deal, but in the original game, you could only run if you equipped a pair of sprint shoes in one of the 2 powerful relic slots for one of your characters that are in your active party. Relics are powerful artifacts that can increase your strength, equip 2 weapons at a time, cast regen at the middle of battle, just cool, powerful stuff. Typically, you want to have 1 offensive and 1 defensive relic equipped, so having one of these slots so you didn't have to inch through the game was very painful, but necessary. You can also turn random encounters on and off and change the amount of money, experience, and ability points you gain from each battle from ×0 to none, up to ×4. I've been keeping random encounters on and everything set to ×1 because I want to remain at the proper power level for encounters. I have turned encounters off a few times when backtracking for items I may have missed or while exploring a dungeon to make sure I didn't miss anything. That was a really quality of life. It's like, that's huge. I think 2 rooms ago I might have missed something, but I don't want to deal with the 5 encounters. Oops, turn off random encounters, run back. Sweet. And run back to where I was, turn them back on. That is nice. It is really nice.
It is probably my favorite feature that they added to this game. It was just like, okay, I'm sick of just getting mugged every time I take 2 steps. I just want to explore. Can I explore? Can I please just explore? And I can do that, and it's great.
It's also like automatic chocobo everywhere all the time now. So like if you were going to I should buy a chocobo to get from point X to point Y so I don't get attacked. It's like, well, I can save that 100 gil and just turn off encounters and off I go. Each playable character has their own unique abilities. Terra, the Magitech Knight, she can use magic. She learns spells as she levels up. She starts with fire and cure. Locke, the adventurer, Locke can steal. Instead of attacking, he can attempt to steal from enemies, sometimes getting super good stuff off of them. Edgar, the machinist, has access to special weapons called tools that you can buy or discover. He begins with the auto crossbow that attacks all enemies on screen, but he also can pick up the noise blaster and bioblaster in Figaro Castle. Bioblaster attacks all enemies on screen and inflicts them with a poison, and noise blaster confuses all enemies on screen. And then Sabin, the monk, he uses a blitz technique. You can use a blitz by selecting it from the blitz menu and putting in the correct input. For example, to use the ability Meteor Strike, you would input in order RB, LB, down, up, and A. Yes, Matt.
This has also been improved in the Pixel Remaster version. In the previous versions, you would just have to enter the thing and hope you got it. In this version, it takes, like, when you enter the blitz ability, it takes away the characters on the screen and just allows you to see what's coming next. So you can see when you've inputted it correctly, and it's so much better.
Yeah, you don't put it wrong anymore, which I used to have to memorize them and then use them and then properly input them. It was actually a little bit more skill-based. Now I'm like, oops. It's nice. All right, cool. Did I miss anything?
No, that's everything. That's everything so far.
Everything so far.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Much.
First good, Storm Rage.
I just like having a good guys versus bad guys again. I don't need to worry about whether or not it's going to come around to a happy ending from the get-go on this one. I know it's going to end with somehow us destroying the moon, and that's the thing that actually brought all of the evils onto the world. I don't actually know that. I know nothing about this game, other than the 3 hours that I have played. I'm just making a guess based on how Final Fantasy tends to work. So that is my end game called shot.
Love it. Love it. I can't wait to find out if you're right. What's our not so good, Matt?
I am sharing a Nintendo Switch with my son, who hasn't touched it in like 6 months, and now plays it whenever now all of a sudden he's back into Zelda, so he's playing it again. So now I only have, so I kind of have to, like, hey son, I need to play my Switch, please, thank you, so I can play my Final Fantasy game. And also the fact that, like, I have this on like every platform. I literally have this on like my Xbox. I have this on my computer. I could put it on my phone if I really wanted to.
Don't do that. It's a terrible version.
No, don't
so
do that.
Bad. Looks awful.
So there's no, but the problem is there's no cross save. So I can't just do that. I just can't, like, go make a point. And so I'm stuck on the Switch since I started on the Switch, and I'm like, son, it's time for your father to play video games. Can I have my Switch back, please?
So you don't have to be stuck on it. If you wanted to go to your PC, you could turn experience times 4 and then, like, rush through the game and then turn off, like, auto battles when you start, like, getting up at a decent level. Yeah. So I bet you could catch up super quick if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, especially to where we are now. Like,
I bet it would take you like 45 minutes.
You know what? I'm on my Switch. It's fine. So, and he's leaving on Wednesday, so I'll have plenty of time.
There you go. I was gonna say the real answer is just buy him a Switch 2, and problem solved.
No, I buy myself a Switch 2. He can have the that I have.
I've got the best good. Best good is the intro of this game. I truly believe that the intro scene of Final Fantasy VI is when 16-bit graphics became pixel art. The first time I played this game, I just let the intro scene play over and over, watching them march through the snowstorm in absolutely gorgeous mechs and listening to the music that wasn't just video game music, but was the score of, like, a movie, essentially. It changed what I thought video games could be. Yeah, Matt.
Mm-hmm. In the Pixel Remaster, they have 2 options for the score. You can choose the orchestra. The default option was the orchestrated score, so it's like real instruments, real music. You can switch it back to the original, like, blips and bloops of the 16-bit SNES. It still holds up.
It
is very good.
It's so good.
It is incredible.
Yep.
I almost would suggest doing that just for a time, just to get immersed in that style of the music. But the symphonic version, like the default version, is incredibly well done.
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember just sitting there and being absolutely blown away when, like, they started marching through the snow. I was like, holy buckets! This is something new. This is something amazing. It changed how I thought of video games, to be honest. It was pretty shocking.
And the music's perfect.
The music's amazing. It's beautiful.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
I will ask myself 3 questions.
Hey there, Matt. What are you liking so far?
I love how they introduce the characters. Like, it just fades to black and gives you a little blurb at the bottom, and you get to name them, and it kind of just drops you in right back in, and just like the world is great. Like the steampunk plus like returning magic world is my jam. That is my jam. It's just absolutely my jam. That's what I'm liking so far. Stormrage, what are you liking so far?
I'm so grateful that this game has some modern amenities and things like the auto battler, the being able to run, being able to turn off random encounters, the modifiers. All of it's really done, and all of it is also pretty optional. So if you really want the earned experience of the original game, sure, I guess if you want to make things more miserable, go ahead. And I am glad. I think it is incorporated well. I think it is done well. I'm very grateful for it. Dano, what are you liking so far?
Like you said, playing a game with good guys and bad guys, and none of that in between nonsense. I know who the good guys are. I know who the bad guys are. I like that. Thank you. I don't need to think. I just get to enjoy it. I enjoy thinking, but this is nice. This is such a good change of pace. I was so concerned about playing this game after Expedition 33. I was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to play a 30-year-old game after playing one of the all-time like greats of the modern genre? And it's just nice. It just feels good. Not everything has to be awful. Matt, what are you struggling with?
How often I've played this game and like still miss the cave at the top of Mount Coles or Colts. Like the cave at the center of the spiral at the end of Mount Colts or Coles, like, you know, the department store Coles. Like, it's just like I always like, oh, where do I go from here? Let me go out of this spiral. Let me go look around. I must have missed something. No, there's just a cave at the bottom of the top of the spiral. I'm like, I'm dumb.
I also
I'm really
missed it,
dumb.
ran back, tried to look up a guide. Every guide was like, just go there. And I was like, that doesn't help at all.
It's just like I've played this game on like I've literally played this game for 30 years, like, you know, off and on, like, you know, every like 10 years or so, right? And it's like every time I miss that cave. I don't understand. It's just a mental block. Why is this? Stormrage, what are you struggling with?
This game is impossible to play without a guide. I got so used to Expedition 33 where it was like, well, follow the lanterns and you'll get there eventually. And that's not true in this game. This game, gotta get a guide. Gotta get a guide or you will miss so much. Daniel, what are you struggling with?
I am absolutely racing through this game. Like, I've played this game a bunch already, and I'm pretty far into it. And that includes a lot of hours of me just spent doing a thing that we will talk about after we introduce it next week. Just because it's kind of fun. I'm still blowing through. It's just so quick. And like, speaking of Mount Colts, I will never forget how hard that was when I was a kid. Because I remember getting to that boss fight, poisoned to the gills with no antidotes, and just like, because those trillium things just all poison you, and like just barely getting through it, and just like Sabin like coming in and like saving me. And I'm like, oh, I did it. I kept dying and having to come back down to the save point. But yeah, it's a very, I'm getting through it. It's too quickly. Too fast. What am I going to do? It's too fast. What surprised you about the game, Matt?
Turning off random encounters when you really just want to explore a zone and just kind of look around and like, okay, it's like I'm stuck. Where do I go from here? What do I do? How do I get that chest over there? How do I like, you know, figure out this area? Just turning off random encounters for that was like, it's just nice. It's just so nice. It just makes the game so much more like welcoming to play. I guess is the best way to put it. Like it's like I don't want to deal with random encounters. I know I can just blow through them. I can blow through the combat real quick with the auto battle. But like it's like no, I just don't want to deal with it. I just want to explore. Can I just explore? Let me just click the right stick button, and then turn off encounters, and then before I leave, I'm going to turn it back on so I can, go fight the next zone. It's great. I love it. Storm Rage, what surprised you?
I'm surprised at how many characters and how many things they introduce right at the top. There is so much back and forth and so much like Master Duncan and Vargas and things that feel like plot lines that I don't think are long plot lines, but are like set dressing for characters in some way, shape, or form. And like when I was writing these character notes, I was like, well, okay, then there's this character's here, then this character. Okay, now is it Sabine or Edgar? That's this one. And then what's this person's name? And because it is pixel art, because I'm so bad at identifying and looking at pixel art, and because the characters are related in some instances, trying to identify which characters are which through their pixel art can be a little difficult at times. I know in the pixel art remaster, they no longer have the like profile picture of the person that's speaking when they're speaking. And I wish that was there so bad, because it would help so many things.
There's a mod for that if you want that.
Only on Steam, and I'm playing it on Switch.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Dano, what surprised you?
That the random encounters really aren't bothering me nearly as much as I thought they were going to. I was truly concerned that it would drive me kind of crazy. It's not. And then the ability to turn them off when I want to go and just kind of like move around at a place. Like, I've only done that a couple times, but like, honestly, when I've done it, I'm like, oh, this is just quality of life. So most time they're just on. I'm moving around the world with them on. It's just, I'm leveling up as I go, staying right where I need to be, I believe. But then, like what Matt said, sometimes you want to go back and check where that chest is. If you got everything, it's perfect. It's perfect. I thought they would drive me crazy, and they're not driving me crazy at all. So yay, yay, Cloud.
No, that's final. That's 7.
It's 9. And it's 10
Yay,
for
Cloud.
sure. 10 in random encounters. 10's story is amazing. 10's random encounters, holy buckets. And then like the zones, they're so linear, and it's just it's 10 is awesome, and also like
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Matt tried so desperately, so many times to make sure that Dano knew that what he said was a joke, and Dano every time flew past it.
I love Final Fantasy games from my youth. I've played them all, even 8, with the gun blade
8.
and everything.
I'm never playing 8 again.
No, gosh, no. Storm Rage, sell the game to a friend.
It's silly. It's campy. It's a Final Fantasy.
Matt, sell the game to a friend.
The combat is much more relaxing than Expedition 33's.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to sell the game to a friend by saying dee. That's it for this week. Next week, we continue to discover the secret of Magitech in Final Fantasy VI. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons and Twitch subs for patronizing us. You can find links to our Discord and our content information in the link tree in the description of this episode.
FF6 is a game, and games are meant to be fun.
Yeah, and don't forget, when there's a clown in Final Fantasy, he's evil. Baby.
This is the end of this show. Everybody bye!
Is that true?
Yes.
There's gotta be at least a couple that aren't, but I couldn't tell you
look
any.
Look at the villain of Final Fantasy IX. She's basically a clown.
Yeah.
What other clowns are there in Final Fantasy games?
Is Kate Sith the clown? I don't think Kate Sith is a clown.
He's
a guy
clown adjacent, right? But he's like somebody in a mascot
Yeah, he's somebody in like a Moogle suit, right? Like,
It's
is that what that is?
It's a Moogle on a something else. It's a mascot.
Yeah, it's like a
that
cat.
he, like,
It's a cat on a Moogle on a Moogle,
yeah.
but it's a suit, but it's really somebody who's like controlling it from Shinra headquarters.
Yeah. Spoilers, by the way, for Final Fantasy VII if you're playing through the new games.
Yeah, I was in the old games. What are you talking about?
Well, maybe some people didn't play the old games.
Well, they're
and
wrong.
So they're playing through the new games.
I wouldn't mind going through 7, actually. 7's interesting.
I did that during COVID. It wasn't awful. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be honest. I was worried that the graphics would bother me. They're fine.
I really, like, after playing this, it's like, I really need to play 5 again, because 5 is seriously my favorite Final Fantasy, and it has a job system, and it is so good.
If you want to play a fun job system, play 12.
Yeah. 12 is good. Or Tactics.
Yeah. I've never played 5. I played 4. I played 5.
5 is very good.
Because 5 wasn't initially released in the United States.
No, it was not. 4 was, but like...
4 was released as 2. And 6 was released as 3.
6 was 3, yes.
Yep.
I've played one other Final Fantasy game.
Was it
Which
9,
one?
right?
Yeah.
Did you beat 9 or did you just start playing it?
I did beat 9.
Okay.
I've beaten 9 twice.
Nice.
And I enjoy 9 a lot. I have tried most every other Final Fantasy game for at least a little while, and I cannot stick with them.
Yeah, I have played 9 to the same point twice. And each time I get so engrossed in the card battles that I spend all my time card battling.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I'm not even kidding. I'll just get obsessed with it and trying to get every single card. And then, like, I'll lose a big card. I'll have to go back and try to win it back. And then, like, the card battling system becomes the entire game for me. And then eventually I just fall off because I don't want to move on. So when we play 9, I'm going to have to, like... I'm gonna have to stay off the Tetramaster game because it is seriously like a drug. I get stuck in it. It's like I'm Mael in like the canvas. Should we call it a podcast?
I think so.
All right, that's it for this week. We'll talk at you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.